समझ नहीं आ रहा अपने सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट का क्या करूं।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स के एसआईपी का टॉपअप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
क्या? समझ में नहीं आया।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स का एसआईपी टॉपअप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
अब समझा।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.
Hello and welcome to ThePrint. I'm Snehesh Alex Philip. Every fortnight, I write a newsletter called Brahmastra, where I at times express my personal views on national security, defense, or strategic affairs, while at times I talk about new developments to watch out for in these spheres of my focus. Brahmastra is a subscriber only feature, but I thought I'll do 2 videos to give you an insight into what you can expect. This is the second video. If you like this, subscribe to The Print and get exclusive newsletter from The Print's editors and senior journalists like a political editor DK Singh, Deputy Editor Moshmi Dasgupta, who looks after governance and policy, Deputy Editor Neelam Pandey, who covers the ruling party for us, and of course Mansi Phadke, who heads our Mumbai and South Bureau. Now, if you noticed over the past week, you would have read multiple reports about Germany's exit from the Future Combat Air System, that is the FCAS, Europe's 6th generation fighter program, and the possibility of India joining hands with France for the project. I reported this way back in February this year that India and France are secretly holding talks over the possibility of India joining the program if Germany walks out. The link to that story is there in the description. The interest in FCAS is not surprising. It is driven by a reality that many in the Indian defense establishment are reluctant to admit publicly. There is a growing concern that India's flagship indigenous programs are trapped in a cycle of ambition, delay, and dependence. Whether it is the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, that is the AMCA, an indigenous jet engine, or the next generation of conventional submarines under Project 76, India continues to pursue transformational programs through the same bureaucratic structures that have consistently struggled to deliver projects on time. The result is familiar. Timelines slip, costs rise, foreign dependence persists, indigenous capability remains elusive. If India is serious about technological sovereignty in aerospace and undersea warfare, these programs need something more radical than another committee, another public-private partnership, or another foreign collaboration. They need an ATV. The Advanced Technology Vessel, that is the ATV program, remains one of the most successful strategic technology mission undertaken in independent India. The ATV is a highly secretive program launched by the Indian government to design and build indigenous nuclear submarines. While initially India had wanted to make SSNs, it shifted its goalpost and ended up making the Arihant class SSBNs, something which I suspect it was always meant to do. Project ATV program was formally launched in 1984 with Rear Admiral Mir K. Roy being appointed as its first DG following his retirement from the Indian Navy earlier the same year. ATV was not designed merely to build a submarine. It was created to develop an entire ecosystem that India needed to possess. For example, the nuclear propulsion, specialized metallurgy, reactor technology, submarine design, strategic missiles, supply chains, and operational expertise. The program succeeded because it was treated as a national mission rather than a procurement project. The ATV project did not function within the routine chain of the command of the naval headquarters. It is headed by a 3-star Navy officer and has multiple 2 stars heading each specialized department like the electronics, propulsion, weapon systems, among others. The Vice Admiral heading the project does not report to the Indian Navy Chief and hence does not have to follow the regular protocols of the force. The Prime Minister of the day heads the steering and funding committee of the project, which is monitored by the DRDO chief. This means that the project director reports to the Prime Minister's office while working with the DRDO chief on a day-to-day matters. And hence the program enjoys direct political oversight, protected funding, and the ability to bring together organizations like the BARC, DRDO, the Navy, public sector shipyards, private industry like the L&T, and foreign collaborators, including Russian and French specialists that would have otherwise worked in their own silos. Had the program been run as a routine procurement project, it would have likely have struggled with annual budget fluctuations, interministerial disputes, technology denial regimes, frequent leadership changes, and conventional procurement rules. The objective of the ATV was not acquisition, it was capability creation. That distinction matters. India's conventional approach to defense modernization has often confused assembly with indigenization. Licensed production, screwdriver technology, and selective transfer of technology have been presented as indigenous success stories. But decades later, India still imports engines, sensors, propulsion systems, and critical materials. The contrast with ATV is striking. When the program began, India lacked virtually every technology required to build a nuclear submarine. Today, the fourth Aryan class boat is believed to have indigenous content exceeding 90%. AMCA, the indigenous jet engine program, and Project 76 face a similar challenge. None of them is fundamentally a procurement exercise. AMCA is not about producing an aircraft, it is about mastering stealth, design, advanced materials, sensors, mission systems, and manufacturing processes. The jet engine program is not about producing a power plant. It is about acquiring mastery over metallurgy, turbine technology, materials science, and precision manufacturing. Project 76 is not about building submarines. It is about developing technologies and industrial ecosystem that will anchor India's underwater capabilities for decades. These are strategic technology missions, yet they continue to be managed through structures designed for acquisition rather than innovation. An ATV style model would change that. It would provide direct political oversight, proper and uninterpreted funding, stable leadership, freedom from annual budgetary uncertainty, and the authority to integrate government labs, armed forces, private industry, and foreign partners into a single mission oriented framework. Most importantly, it would shift the focus from buying platforms to creating capabilities. Because without such a shift, India risks repeating a familiar pattern: ambitious announcements, revised timelines, increased cost, and continued dependence on foreign technology. 5 years from now, India can either be discussing the first flight of AMCA, the progress of an indigenous jet engine, and the construction of next generation submarines, or it can be discussing another round of delays. And that is the choice that must be made today. Now, remember that as I sit here, many of my colleagues are traveling across the country to get you stories that really matter, stories from the ground. Some of these stories are stories that you must read, but all of this comes at a cost. And hence, please follow the instructions that you see on your screen and become a member of the Print's growing family. Subscribe to the Print, support the Print, and get exclusive subscriber benefits. For the Print, this is Snehesh Alex Philip.